What up, everyone? All right. Just unplug this. That noise. All right. I'm gonna have to share this on Twitter. What's going on, everybody? Windy City, go Leafs go. I'm just tweeting this out right now. All right. Anyways, all right. Hello from Niagara. What's up, Jim? All right. I know a lot of people in here are Leaf fans, so I guess that's probably a good way to start. There's been a lot of rumors right now about Tyson Barrie, of course, with the Vancouver Canucks. Slapshot Hockey, what's up? There's a lot of really weird trade packages that people are talking about, and I would just like to inform you guys right now. I'm no insider, and I obviously don't have a ton of connections. I have a couple that I'm not going to sit here and act like I know everything. But a lot of this stuff is not real. I gotta let people know, a lot of these rumors are really, really not real. Yeah, David Pagnotta, I believe him. I'm not saying he's not right. What I'm saying is what some of the rumored packages are. Oh, Nyquist, what's up? Who do you want the Leafs to trade for? Honestly, I don't think they're gonna acquire anybody. I know a lot of people in here probably don't want to hear that right now, but I actually don't think they're gonna make that move for another defenseman. Bob McKenzie, guys, if anybody didn't listen to Bob McKenzie, before I get to the Vancouver stuff, apparently the Leafs told their top players last week or 2 weeks ago or something that if they play significantly well and if they show that they're making progress in terms of going for the Stanley Cup and being a good playoff team, which if they won some games and got themselves into a better position, okay, sure, they at least seem like they can make the playoffs. But Bob McKenzie said that since they've been losing, why would Dubas go out there and make a huge move? They're not playing well. So why would Dubas stick his head out on the line and make a huge move if they're not going to do anything? I don't think I'll be streaming tomorrow because I want to be making videos as stuff happens. There's a lot of people streaming, I know, tomorrow, so I don't want to interrupt some of that stuff. Trade Barrie for Brody. I don't think that's going to happen. Apparently, Brody has the Leafs on his no trade list now. After he figured out the Leafs were going after him, he doesn't want to go there. So, yeah. Okay, in terms of Barrie, I have to make this clear. There's some people saying, oh, they could get a package of, Barchi or Sutter. So Sven Barchi is being buried right now in the minor leagues because his cap hit is over almost $4 million. It's $3.6 million. So not almost four, but almost, I guess, almost there. And right now he only has he had 14 points in 26 games played for the Canucks. He has 39 points in 37 games played in the AHL. So he's not too bad, but he's expensive. Then you have Sutter. Brandon Sutter, who has a no move, no trade clause. He's getting paid over $4 million this year and next year. And he's got 16 points in 36 games played. Why would the Leafs want him? I do not understand why this makes any sense. They don't. That's the point. Those rumors of them wanting Sven Barchi and Brandon Sutter, forget that. There's no way. The Leafs can't afford them next year anyways. So forget that rumor. It's not happening. They're not going after those two guys. So those I don't see why people think the Leafs are going to take all this cap. That doesn't make any sense. Yeah, see, the only way I see the Leafs making a move with Vancouver is if they do get that pick. And by the way, some people are suggesting even on Twitter that because Barry is a Vancouver guy, he wants to go back home. This could be a sign and trade, or like a trade him and sign him. So if Barry ends up signing a deal with Vancouver based as a part of this deal, then the Leafs will get more. That immediately gets you a first round pick and then some, because the Leafs are not just going to let him negotiate and then go for nothing. And see, that's the thing. That's true. The Leafs are going to have Morgan Rielly and Cody Ceci back by the end of the year. So where are they getting all this cap space from? Andreas Janssen is 100% done for the year. So they have over $3 million. The Leafs will probably roughly have nearly $4 million to work with. And yeah, they are looking for a Shattenkirk Sekera type of return, which, guys, I have to be honest with you. Their other name that's being thrown around out there is, oh, the Leafs might get Troy Stecher from the Canucks. Looking at the past 3 years, Tyson Barrie compared to Troy Stecher, Barry's better defensively. He's got better numbers. Like, there's this site called AZ3 comparison comps, and you like compare two players side by side, and you can go 3 years, 2 years, 1 year. It shows numbers for their statistics offensively, and then it shows defensively. Stecher, his defensive numbers are awful. Like, his numbers are really bad. So I don't understand why people think the Canucks are going to give nothing and get Tyson Barrie. Like, Barrie is the leading point scorer for the Leafs defenseman right now. He's not good defensively. We've already gotten past that. But he's also playing over 20 minutes a game, sometimes playing 23 to 27 minutes a game. So you're telling me that the Leafs just give him up and replace him with a worse defenseman and then acquire crappy assets attached to him? What kind of trade would that be? That makes no sense for the Leafs. Like, that would literally be the dumbest thing ever. I don't get where people are coming up with these rumors. The Leafs can't buy out Cece's contract. He's injured. I just read that Pagnotta tweet about Peugeot. David goddamn Clarkson. That's hilarious. I think Sandin's been fine. It's just, you got to remember, like, this Leafs blue line hasn't exactly had like proper partners or anything like that. I still think the Leafs have a chance to make the playoffs. But the only way that they do that is if they play with more determination. Like, there's a word that I really wanted to say. I can't remember. Urgency. Okay, that's the word. The Leafs play with zero urgency. They literally think everything's going to be okay all the time. I still think the Leafs will get into the playoffs, but it's not going to be easy. They need to. And by the way, guys, listen, I'm open floor right now, telling you this right now. The Leafs practice was canceled today. And if you guys didn't see the tweet, I don't care if you don't like William Nylander. You are allowed to have that opinion. I think some people get confused when I'm sitting here saying, oh, Nylander's good. I love William Nylander. I think he's a great hockey player. You're allowed to have your own opinion. But William Nylander seen what happened last night and put his ass on the ice again today. He's the only guy that went out there and practiced his ass off. He put himself through skating drills by himself this morning. The only damn guy on that team that went out there. To me, that's trying. I think that shows like he's really going out there and trying to play better. And he was good. Like, Nylander's been good this year. He has been. He's putting up career numbers. But How is Nylander the only guy that went out there for extra work? Like, there was no practice. The Leafs didn't have a practice today. They canceled it. The Marlies practiced. The Leafs did not practice. I don't know. I don't know why they canceled practice. That was a really dumb move in my eyes, but whatever. I just got to give credit to William Nylander for going out there and doing his thing. Yeah, I don't know if people realize, but Mitch Marner has 2 goals in his last 17 games. One of the goals was an empty netter, and the other one was a 4-on-3 power play goal. So there needs to be more effort. The Leafs definitely need practice. Listen, I love Sheldon Keefe, but that's not the move. He needed to make a practice today. But I still got to give credit. You got to wait, hold on. Ristolainen for Kapanen plus? There's no way that the Leafs would do that. Ristolainen is not good. Sorry, he's just not. Look up his numbers. Ristolainen is an average defenseman. Nylander for Manson, straight up, no way. That's not happening. How do you know Nylander was on the ice? It was reported multiple times. People said that Nylander was the only one on the ice. He was out there with Mikheyev, and Mikheyev's hurt. He can't play. I think the Islanders are going to make another move. They have to. Slapshot hockey, man, I hate to tell you, but Manson's going to cost a lot more than that. Hot take hockey. Hey, man, just got in my opinion, but I'm fine with canceling practice. The players need to reevaluate. They'll practice tomorrow. This team is a mess. Gotta expect. Hey, I respect that opinion. That's a fair opinion. I personally would have liked to see a practice, but your message makes sense. It makes sense. Yeah, Mike Green and Athanasiou are not playing tonight. They're out for precautionary reasons. I could see those guys getting moved. Mike Green might be a bit tough, but AA could get moved. Yeah, and I mean Keefe benched those guys because he probably looked at them and said, "Yo, you're not scoring on a 42-year-old Zamboni driver. You expect me to play you?" Yeah, right. Dubas hasn't built a soft team. Dubas has built a team that has a lot of skill, that went out there and showed that they are still immature and not ready to dig in and play good hockey every night. Like, this isn't gonna be another stream where we talk about Dubas and whether or not you think he's good. All I'm gonna say is that people think that Lou Lamoriello just gave Dubas a great team and put it in his lap. The reason why the Leafs don't have a first-round pick this year is because of Lou Lamoriello. That trade that they had to make to get rid of Marlowe's cap hit was purely based off of a very dumb decision by Lou Lamoriello. Smart move on the stream. Congrats on the success of both channels. Not sure how long it'll be live, but we've got to head out soon. But good. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, Dubas made that trade, but the reason he had to make that trade was because Carolina, like they took on a terrible contract that Lou Lamoriello signed. Lou Lamoriello signed that terrible contract. He also signed the terrible Nikita Zaitsev deal. And people seem to think that, like, let me just put it out there, and then we're not going to talk about Lou versus Dubas. I'm not going to respond to those because that's basically what my streams are half the time. I want to talk about, trades and what could happen. I don't want to talk about who's the better GM. But Lou Lamoriello literally could have signed those guys to much better deals, and he didn't. So, and also this is what I'll hypothetically put up for you guys. If Dubas didn't make that trade for to get rid of Marleau, they wouldn't have Kapanen or Janssen. So it was basically Kapanen or Janssen or Patrick Marleau in his late 30s. So you pick. You make that pick. And by the way, Babcock, okay, I'm not talking about that stuff anymore. That's all we talk about in other trades. Tanev and Stetcher. No, Tanev is a Band-Aid, and Vancouver doesn't want to trade him. He's been healthy. Excuse me. He's been healthy this year, but the Leafs don't want to take that chance. Stetcher, not good defensively. Oh, so there's reports now that Chris Kreider's for sure getting traded. Is that what people are saying? I mean, that doesn't really surprise me. I don't know where Kreider's going to go. If I'm the Rangers, I'm getting a friggin' king's ransom for him. Like, there's going to be teams that are going to overpay. Like, you got to think the Bruins are in on him. You have to. The Bruins have to be in on him. Ristolainen, no, is not good. I hope he does not get traded to the Leafs. He's, again, another guy that people think is really good. He's just a little tough. That's it. He's not very good. Joe Thornton to Boston would be interesting. Seeing him back in a Boston uniform would be kind of cool. I'm not going to lie. They didn't rush a rebuild signing Tavares. You have a chance to sign the best free agent on the market for less than he could have got anywhere else. To be honest with you, if I'm being honest, I don't know if the Leafs are going to get another guy by tomorrow. Like, I know Dubas is working the phones, but I'm not sure that they're going to go and get a big name by tomorrow. Like, look at what Bob McKenzie said. They were in on Zach Bogosian. Like, and the Leafs fully expect that Ceci and Riley will be healthy by the end of the season. So Bob McKenzie basically said they were looking for a guy to fill the gaps. So basically the reports that Bob McKenzie's stating is that they were kind of contradicting from last night to today, but it does make sense. Basically, he said that the Leafs could go out there and get a big name, sure, but because Ceci and Riley are coming back, Bob McKenzie said, well, the Leafs might look at just getting a guy that can fill the gaps for them until they come back, so a depth defenseman. Now, I'm actually not against PK Subban to Toronto because, first of all, New Jersey would have to at least eat half of their salary. Like, Subban's half of his salary. Here's the thing. If they do that, then PK Subban's only like 4.7 million, I believe. So if you get Subban at that number, that's physicality plus points. Maybe he turns it around in Toronto. Do I think he's good? No. But the Leafs, excuse me, in that sense, the Leafs don't have to give up a lot. They really don't have to give up a lot to get him because the Devils want out of that long-term contract. Whereas the Leafs might need that type of defenseman. Do I want him? Is that the number one guy on my list? No, it's not. I'm not going to lie. If he doesn't get traded to Toronto, I really don't care. Craig Button blasting the Leafs. I mean, he can blast whatever he wants. I really don't care. I watched it. I mean, some of the stuff he said was right. Andrew, great job in your efforts to give us a good understanding of what is and not happening before the deadline. Thanks, John. Appreciate it. I always see your comments. Thank you. Love the channel, Paul. Thank you so much. Yeah, PK's fallen off, but I mean, keep in mind, apparently he'd love to play in Toronto. I have no idea if that's true. Again, I'm no sort of insider. I just go off of some of the things that I hear from legitimate insiders. Like whenever I'm watching TV and stuff like that. Who the hell is this guy? The heck kind of messages are these? Oh my goodness. Would be a $4.5 million cap hit if they retain 50% on PK. Yeah, correct. If it's super cheap, plus retaining half, then it wouldn't be horrible. It's a change. Might be better than Barry. Yeah, like PK Subban's numbers, if you look at his defensive numbers, are better than a lot of guys that the Leafs could go after. Like, you have to look at the advanced stuff. Like, Subban gives away the puck a lot, but so does most defensemen that have the puck a lot. Like, Mitch Marner leads the Leafs in giveaways, but it's kind of a stupid stat because he also takes the puck away too. So I don't really know. The Raptors are winning. Yeah, I seen that they were up big. Zach Bogosian probably go into the Lightning. That's kind of hilarious. I mean, Tampa's great. I'm never gonna diss Tampa Bay, but honestly, Zach Bogosian is not good. What the fuck? What is this? Yeah, I don't have any mods. Have you seen the Mike guy on Twitter? Yeah, I don't believe any of that stuff. Oh man, I don't want Hainsey back. I'm not gonna lie. Oh, Doc, holy thank God we've got a mod in here. Doc, there's some dude who keeps posting like a million random posts in here, like vulgar messages. So if he comes back, just can you like delete him or whatever, or like ban him from the channel or whatever? If you have time, obviously. But he keeps coming in here with different account names. Doc, it's been a while. We haven't talked in so long, man. How's it going? Yeah, the Raptors are kicking ass right now. These are my guys, NBA champs, real professionals. Yeah, Matt, two different names. Yeah, that was weird. Nylander doesn't have to go. You're engaged, man. Congratulations. Me, I'm not engaged. That's amazing, man. Congrats. Yeah, Tampa Bay and Bogosian, that's a weird fit. I don't really know what they're doing, but I mean, that's depth, I guess. Oh, there we go. Yeah, Terry, I'll mod you. Oh my goodness, what the I just honestly, what I do is I think you can click and whatever. Bro, for a second I thought you were being serious about the spider, but I'm not afraid of spiders. I just would have to kill it. Yeah, what's up with those usernames? Jesus. Yeah, I know you made me look. Damn it. Yeah, okay. Terry, I just modded you for the all right. I think I just modded you. Um Thanks, Trevor. I appreciate it, though. I think Bracco's still out. Yeah, I believe he's still out. What? If Toronto were to acquire PK Subban to help out their offensive game, I think they need to worry about their defensive game, to be honest. But the only way it makes sense to get a guy like PK is if you actually, if it's is only if they, retain 50%. They have to, and then I don't know. I don't really know if it's a great fit. Sami Vatanen, I hold on. I'm gonna look up his defensive numbers. He's a weird one for me. I like Sami Vatanen, but I don't know if he. I don't really know if he makes a ton of sense. And I like Severson better, or Severson, however you want to pronounce his name. I know some people say it differently. Let's look up Sami Vatanen, and we're gonna compare him to Tyson Barrie. Okay, already his numbers don't look that great. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. All right, let's go 1 year based off the 18-19 season because that's the soonest they have. Yeah, his numbers are not very good. Yeah, there's a lot of it. Vatanen's not exactly a defensive. Is not a defensive guy. Damon Severson, his numbers are better. His breakups, so like when people are coming into the zone, his breakups are worse than Barrie, but his other numbers are better from the last year. But if we go 3 years, let's see. 3 years, his numbers are very good. His numbers are better than Barrie's. Not by a ton, but in some categories, yes. Yeah. Conrad, I don't think that would ever happen. Adam Larson, I'm not big on Adam Larson. Like some of his numbers are decent, but over a 3 year span, him and Tyson Barrie have similar numbers in terms of defense. Like I'm using the A3Z, however you want to say it, player comparison tool. The last 3 years, I mean, Larson and Barrie have similar numbers. Larson's are a bit better, but it's not like you want to give up the farm to acquire a guy like that. Yeah, Leafs lose to a Zamboni driver. Tell me about it. That's all I've heard for 24 hours. Leafs should consider trading Tavares. I don't think they'll do that. I definitely wouldn't. Kerfoot getting traded. Kerfoot's looked better as a third line centerman. I haven't discussed Byfuglien yet. Dustin Byfuglien, again, that would be interesting, but he's not in shape. And plus, apparently he just doesn't even want to play hockey anymore. Like that's what people are forgetting. He definitely just doesn't want to play hockey anymore. Byfuglien's numbers have fallen off a little bit defensively. Some of his numbers are good, but some of them are bad. If Lundqvist is included with the Kreider return, would be less. I don't think that they want to do that. I think they want to get a home run trade. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, Buff is huge. I'm pretty sure he's gained some weight. Which Canadian team goes the farthest in the playoffs? I mean, if they get in, I can see Vancouver making a run, to be honest. Like they look like a fun team. But their injuries are bad right now. So actually, I got to change that. I don't even know. I'm just gonna say Vancouver because it was the first team I thought of. I think that they'd be fun in the playoffs. They've got like a sneaky good team. Well, Conrad, to be honest with you, like Nylander's not playing worse than his contract. Like Nylander's actually playing pretty up to his deal. Like let's be honest here. Look at some of the deals that have been handed out. Like Kevin Hayes had like a career high of 45 points and he got like 5 million bucks or 6 million. Nylander's out here going to score over 30 goals this year and he's getting paid under 7 million. Yeah, Kevin Hayes got $7 million and his career high in points is like 50 or something. Like, let's maybe not talk about the Nylander contract because I don't think it's bad. Like, that deal's actually pretty damn good. Yeah, I think the problem with the Marner deal is he definitely got overpaid. But I don't know. He's not getting traded, guys. But this is what I will explain. You guys having the opinion now that he's getting overpaid, no problem. I have no problem with you guys saying that. But in a few years when the salary cap goes up and the percentage of contract goes up, some deals that are getting signed will make the Marner deal look good. Like let's be honest here. In a few years, let's say the salary cap is up to like 86 to 88 million dollars. There's going to be guys signing contracts for like 13 million to 14 million a season. And then you guys are going to be like, okay, this Marner deal isn't so bad anymore because Marner's going to be putting up consistently 80, 90 points. It's not going to be a big deal. Like, I would rather have Mitch Marner than overpay a guy like Kevin Hayes. Like, I'd rather overpay a guy who's at least going to get me 80 points. If you overpay a guy that can't play, then you're in trouble. Like, look at some of the contracts that Vancouver has signed. Like, they've got like 12 to 15 million dollars tied up in really bad contracts. And whereas the Leafs have big money tied up in star players, that's the biggest difference to me. Who has the best contract in the league? Well, I gotta say probably Leon Draisaitl, because if Draisaitl hit the open market, he's getting like 12 million, no problem. He's getting 12. Pasternak's getting 10 or 11 million, no problem. Actually, he's probably getting 12. Yo, what's good? My boy, what's up? What up? Yo, Pasta's amazing, man. Best contract in the league isn't Jason Spezza, but I like him. Of course. 2K Concrete. I don't think you understand what I just said. I said Pasternak has one of the best contracts in the league. How am I a clown? I just said he has one of the best contracts in the league. How does that make any sense? I know he's signed. He has one of the best contracts. I said if he hit the open market, he would get so much. I'm complimenting the player and the contract. Like that, okay. The who wouldn't be upset after last night's game? It took me 10 minutes to get over it though. Like, I mean, who cares? They lost. They're still in a playoff position, but they lost to a 42-year-old Zamboni driver. Yeah, Shattenkirk got a first. Barry will. If here's the thing, the Leafs are getting a first if Barry takes a contract somewhere else. Like if let's say he wants to play long term in Vancouver, he's getting a first. Because then it comes along with the fact that Barry's going to sign a long term deal. 100% he gets a first if he signs a contract. There's no way. It's impossible. If the Leafs allowed Tyson Barrie to get traded and discuss a contract with another team, that's a first automatically. I don't know why people think Tyson Barrie is absolutely crap. Like, he's still decent. Like, not decent. He's still good. Like, hold on. I got to look something up. Kevin Shattenkirk. All right. So before Shattenkirk was traded, he had 42 points in 61 games. Okay. Barrie has less points. I know that. Yeah, Martinez went for 2 seconds, and Barrie's a better, like, in terms of point production. Okay, so Barrie has 35 points in 63 games. So pretty damn close, 7-point difference. But keep in mind, Barrie would probably have way more points if Mike Babcock wasn't an absolute dummy. Let's look at Kevin Shattenkirk's advanced numbers, because Shattenkirk is not bad. Like, let's be real, and especially in that year that he got traded. So let's do the last 3 years of Kevin Shattenkirk versus the last 3 years of Tyson Barrie. Tyson Barrie's numbers defensively since the 2016 season are 90% better than Kevin Shattenkirk's. These are the numbers. Breakups per 60. This is low numbers are bad. So from 2016 to 2019, Kevin Shattenkirk is at 26. Tyson Barrie is at 42. Entries allowed, 16. That's terrible. Barrie is at 74. Way better. Entry possession percentage allowed, 20%. Possessions allowed for Barrie, 47. So Shattenkirk got them a first. So how does the Tyson Barrie not get a first? Tyson Barrie's much better over the past 3 years than Kevin Shattenkirk. How do you go into a trade and say, okay, well, you know, Shattenkirk and Sakara or whatever get all this, and Barrie gets nothing? That doesn't make sense. No, the reason the Leafs can't keep him is because he's not a fit. The Leafs need something better. 100%. Here's the thing, 2K Concrete. I'm agreeing the fact that it's not a guarantee for a first unless that there's a contract that comes with it. Because you don't go into a negotiation and let the guy negotiate with another team and then come along with a contract. You could be right, but it's definitely a first if he signs a long-term deal with the traded team. I'm not saying it's a guaranteed first without the contract. It depends on the names that are attached to him as well. The Leafs are obviously going to ask for it. $2 seconds for Barrie can be flipped. I mean, they're not going to get a less of a return than Alec Martinez. That's not happening. I love Alec Martinez. I would have loved him on the Leafs, but I mean, you're not getting less of a return. All right, you're not listening to me. There's a difference between having an opinion and being ignorant. There's such a big difference. Conrad, I appreciate it. There's a difference between having a discussion and then just blatantly not listening to the other side. Ghost won't get a first. The reason why is just based off the fact that they just sent him down for like a conditioning stint. I think that his value goes down when you send him down like that. By the way, Gardner actually has been better than Morgan Riley since 2016 in terms of all-around numbers. Jake Gardiner is probably one of the most misunderstood players in Leafs history. Yeah, the only way you can trade Andreas Johnsson because he's injured is to a team that's rebuilding. Who do you think the Canucks give up for Barrie? I mean, I don't know. I think the Leafs want to get something to flip. I don't think the Leafs would want to get Gardiner back anyways. I mean, in a perfect world, the Leafs get Josh Manson. I want to look at his numbers, but I've heard some people say that his numbers are exaggerated. That he's not like, no, I think his numbers aren't that bad. They actually look really good. No, his defensive numbers look really good. My dog's going nuts. Yeah, Tony, I don't know how much more, I can handle to a certain degree. Will the Leafs trade Liljegren? I hope not. I mean, I like the idea of giving Liljegren a shot to play on this team. If it can't be Stetcher and Barchi, if that's the case, then we lose that deal 1,000,000%. Those guys are not good. Sorry, they're just not. Apparently, there's a trade-off or a contract offer for Ilya Kovalchuk. I don't know how much I believe of that. I miss Nazem Kadri the most. Noah Hannafin, he hasn't been that good. Noah Hannafin's been a bit of a disappointment. Let's look at his numbers. Defensively, he's a tad better in the past couple years, but Calgary would want a lot. Here's the thing. If the Leafs are truly going to flip Tyson Barrie's return into another defenseman, that trade has to happen tonight. Like, I don't see how they make that trade and then make another trade tomorrow all at the same time, unless it's set up that way. But I think the Leafs, if Barrie's getting moved, it might have to be tonight. If the Kadri Barrie trade never happened, I don't really know how much better of a position the Leafs are in. Because you have to look at it like this. If Mike Babcock wasn't the coach, the Leafs are comfortably in a playoff position. And I talked way too much about Babcock in the last stream, so I don't want to keep going about it. But when we had Michael Hutchinson playing against the Boston Bruins on Saturday night, Hockey Night in Canada, and then Freddie played Buffalo the night before. Like, come on. There's a reason why we weren't getting those 2 points. He was stubborn. And that happened 4 times at least. I look at it like this. If Babcock doesn't play Tyson Barrie and try to change his game, if he doesn't play Hutchinson against better teams, and if he doesn't not play the Stars enough, the Leafs have at least an extra 6 to 8 points on the standings, which would in turn separate them from the Florida Panthers. I mean, Sheldon Keefe has made the Leafs one of the top 10 teams in the NHL since starting, so I don't really have a problem with him. The Leafs are still like top 10 in the NHL since Keefe took over. Since November 20th, the Leafs are top 10 in the entire league. This is a player problem. I 100% agree. This is the players, they're not playing well enough. They're not. That's the case. Freddie hasn't been great. The depth scoring hasn't been great. Like, guys like Kapanen and sure, Kapanen getting a little bit more feisty, that's great. But when you're paying Kapanen $3 million, he needs to do something. He needs to score more. Kerfoot needs to score more. Johnsson is hurt, so you can't really blame him. But he wasn't playing good before. Like, let's just say Janssen, Kerfoot, and Kapanen have an extra 4 goals each, which is actually not too bad. Okay, let's say even 3 goals each, right? That makes a difference in some games, 100%. You've got at least Morgan Riley in the lineup. That makes you a bit better, does it not? So the injuries, the coaching, the goaltending, all this stuff went wrong all at the same time. And then the Leafs just crapped the bed for like a bunch of games in a row. Like, I think that helps. You know what I mean? Yeah, we still lost to a 42-year-old Zamboni driver. We definitely did, Jonathan. We definitely did. Nah, Miguel, I disagree. He did make a move last night. He benched all of our players because they sucked. All the star players got benched. He said, if you ain't going to play out there, you're not going to play at all. That's basically what happened. Oh, no, the Pittsburgh Penguins, they had all these injuries and they didn't care. They just kept winning games. That's the difference. Their depth actually did better. Okay, people are like, okay, the Leafs are going to sell. Okay, well, who do you sell? They need to keep Muzzin. They have to. Well, no, you don't sacrifice making the playoffs by scratching top talent against Tampa. Like, I think people forget the Leafs are literally still in a playoff spot. Like right now, they're still in the playoffs. So you have to still try. Like, you literally can't just give up now. They still have the talent to make the playoffs, but they're playing like a bunch of dummies. They need to start playing better. This is a player problem. They need to grow up. Yeah, Timur Bilyulov, that could be another guy they go after for depth goaltending, but that's obviously an off-season move. No, I didn't say scratch all of them, but you don't scratch any of your top players. Why would you scratch them? Like, you can't. Like, I get, Miguel, I get what you're saying, but at the same time, like, how do you scratch any of your talent? Yeah, Nylander was the only one that practiced today. See, Hainsey was decent, but he wasn't a top pairing guy. Yeah, they did play one of the worst games ever last night. Yeah, the Leafs, this is what the Leafs are going to do. They're going to try to trade Tyson Barrie for assets to flip for another defenseman. If it doesn't work out, then I don't know what they're going to do. Like, I honestly can see them not making a move at all, and people are going to be pissed. I honestly can see them doing nothing. Yeah, that's the thing too. If they can make their big move in the summer when they have their whole team healthy. The only, like I said, Arnav, hopefully I'm saying your name correctly. The only way that they do anything is if you flip Barry for assets and then flip him again, or flip the assets again. There was a Blue Jackets comment. Yeah, here's the reason. The Blue Jackets are amazing because their goaltending has been absolutely phenomenal. If Freddie Anderson plays 10% better, the Leafs are gliding right now. Like, some of the blame has to go on Freddie too. Like, Freddie has had really bad games. If Freddie Anderson's playing like an average like 905 goaltender. Let's say he plays 915, the Leafs are in no matter what. That extra 10% is killer. Who gets to start on Tuesday? I think you got to go back to Freddie. They got to keep playing him. I would personally like to see Campbell in there again, but Anderson made like a bunch of saves last night. There was a couple that he could have stopped, but excuse me, Carolina had like 40 plus shots. Like he made it like close to 40 saves, I'm pretty sure, last night. Well, Freddie's played, I don't know if you've seen the stat, but there's like a stat that shows the last like 5 or 6 games that the Leafs have played, every goaltender has played in the NHL, and Freddie was like the second worst goaltender in the league in the last like 5 games. Yeah, they had 53 shots. So Freddie made a bunch of saves, 40 plus saves. Like Freddie's played like pretty bad recently, but the thing is if he plays a bit better, the Leafs are coasting right now. Desert Sands, Leafs gave up a tough guy, Martin Komarov, Pollock, etc. First of all those tough guys didn't do anything for the Leafs. Just saying. If the Leafs were so good with those guys, then why didn't they win in the playoffs? Yeah, the shots were ridiculous last night. Yeah, Freddie made a lot of saves. But there was a couple I wish he would have stopped, I'm not gonna lie. The only thing going for the Leafs right now is that while they're still in what some may call a travesty, they're still in the playoffs right now. Like they're literally still in a spot. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't think Freddie would ever request a trade. I don't think it goes that far, but because guys like Freddie, I have to say like Freddie's been really bad recently. Still, Doc, congrats on the engagement. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, the Atlantic, it's true. Like Florida and Toronto are the only teams that are really like playing decent besides those guys. Boston and Tampa are killers. Those guys are great. Yeah, he shut out the Pens. That was one good game out of how many games? Like Freddie Anderson is still playing less than an average goaltender, like in terms of save percentage. He's playing worse. So again, I gotta explain this. He's not the only reason they're not playing good. But if Freddie Anderson, instead of being around the average of this month, a 900 save percentage, and he was a 915, the Leafs are easily winning more games. Like they're winning way more. No, he's not losing confidence. Hello from the 5 points. What up? Butcher, good to see you, man. Yeah, but here's the thing. He faces more shots and breakaways than any goalie in the league. Well, there's been games where he's facing 10 shots and 4 goals go in. So it's not like that every game. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Kyle Dubas has given these players a bunch of talent. They need to score. That's just what needs to happen. The Leafs are gonna make the playoffs barely. That's what's gonna happen, and then they're gonna have to see what happens. The reason why Campbell has been playing a lot of games is that if Campbell plays like wins 6 games, I think that the conditional pick I think there's like the conditional pick gets unlocked. It's that and like if they make the playoffs. No, they don't need to trade Nylander. Why trade the guy who's playing really good? I don't understand. You have other pieces that you trade before that guy. Nylander's contract is going to look beautiful by next season when guys who have less points than him are signing for way more money. You actually signed a contract that looks good, and now you just want to trade it away. Dubas is not getting fired. Nylander has yet to do anything in the playoffs. I mean, there's tons of players in the NHL that have done nothing in the playoffs. So, I mean, that point isn't really that valid. Like, I don't understand how people say, "Oh, well, he's done nothing in the playoffs." Yeah, like half the NHL hasn't done nothing in the playoffs. There's always another like an excuse for Nylander. He doesn't go to the net. He doesn't. Nylander has like the most goals in the NHL in front of the net. Let's see if I can find some other stats. So the first year that the Leafs made the playoffs, Nylander had 4 points in 6 games, not too bad. 4 points in 7 games the next time, and then 3 points in 7 games the next time. So I wouldn't say he's done nothing. He's done something. Yeah, Nylander's not going anywhere. And like, you know what I find funny too is somebody made a really good comparison. It was actually Elliot Friedman. Elliot Friedman made the point that look at all these years that the Washington Capitals were having trouble like winning games, getting into the playoffs, and like really doing something. Like not winning games, they were winning games, but in the playoffs they weren't doing very much. And then it took them a few years, and then boom, they just win the Stanley Cup. Sometimes teams need those growing pain years, and then they all of a sudden are amazing. The Leafs are young still. Like people seem to forget they're still a young team. Like I always laugh when people say, "Oh, they're wasting their prime years." No, their prime is like literally just beginning. These guys are so young. So yeah, of course there's a big difference. There still is a big difference. I'm not saying that it's literally a straight comparison between the Capitals and the Leafs. I'm saying that teams that lose before they win sometimes. Yeah, exactly. Clayton Keller makes more than William Nylander. That's a joke. They need some older guys to keep the younger guys calm. Well, they've got Jason Spezza, they've got Clifford, they've got Muzzin. I mean, they've got Johnny T. There's enough older guys in there. Patrick Marleau didn't keep them in line. Patrick Marleau was playing daddy for Marner and Matthews. Marlowe's a great leader, but he's not a vocal, like overly vocal guy. He's a guy that just does his thing on the ice. None of the big four guys are getting traded. My Twitter handle is at Andy Pillock, ANDYPILUK. The Cav and Joe Show. What's up? Honestly, guys, I know I've been asked a few times. I really don't know who the Leafs are going to trade. I don't know. No, one of the big four doesn't need to go. You trade away the secondary pieces. You don't trade away your big guns. I don't see how trading Tavares or signing Tavares was a mistake. I mean, he put up literally career numbers last year, and he's still putting up good numbers this year as well. Yeah, when you have a chance to sign the best free agent, you sign the best free agent. Trouba? No, don't want Trouba. I do think that there is a chance that they trade Travis Dermott. Pietrangelo is going to get a big contract. Dubas isn't getting fired. I'll promise you guys right now, if Dubas gets fired, I will eat this hat on stream at the end of the year. He's not getting fired. It's literally not happening. I promise it's not happening. You literally don't give a guy a year and a half to solve everything, or 2 years, whatever it is. He's not getting fired. It's not happening. That'd be the dumbest thing ever. It will not happen. Dubas has acquired Tavares. He signed Janssen and Kapanen to good contracts. He signed Hall to a good deal. He signed Engvall to a good extension. He got Nylander to a good deal. Marner and Matthews got overpaid, but he still signed them. Mike Babcock had a terrible relationship with Marner and Matthews, and he got those deals done. That's good to me. He acquired Jake Muzzin. He acquired Jack Campbell. He acquired Kyle Clifford. What else does this guy got to do? The Leafs players need to start playing. They need to start playing. Rangers talk. Whew, the Rangers, they're going to get a king's ransom for Kreider. So Zach Bogosian is signed with Tampa. That's a weird fit for me. I don't know if I like that. I don't know if I like that. That's a weird deal. Yeah, the Raptors are kicking ass. That's crazy. Matt Dumba, no. Matt Dumba, I wouldn't do that. Deep, I seen your comment, man. You keep commenting the same thing. I already answered that. I don't think Price gets traded, no. Severson would be decent. I don't know. Some of his numbers aren't very good. How far do you think the Canucks go? I think that they would be fun to watch in the playoffs. Yeah, Manson's better than Dumba for sure. Drew Doughty? Hell no. Drew Doughty is not good anymore. Please no. Stetcher's not better than Tyson Barrie either. Like, that's just ridiculous. Bogosian, yeah. Yeah, Morgan Riley's better than Drew Doughty for sure. You want to talk about being overpaid? Drew Doughty's definitely overpaid. Larson won't happen because Edmonton's trying to go on a run and they have defensive issues in terms of they've had injuries. Savard, they won't make that trade. Columbus isn't looking to make that deal. Yeah, just because you have Stanley Cups doesn't mean you just all of a sudden get to get all a bunch. Listen, Jeff George, hold on. Don't kick that guy out. Don't kick him out. Don't kick him out. Here's the thing. Jeff George, first of all, I am a huge Drew Doughty fan. I met him when he played in the OHL multiple times. I really like Drew Doughty. He played for my junior team in my city, but Drew Doughty is overpaid. He is definitely overpaid. I love Drew Doughty. Right now, in terms of points, he has 30 points in 59 games played, okay? So, not too bad. But his contract is too much. See my above comment. Oh, no worries. No worries. But we don't need to explode like that in here. We're just having conversations, okay? Hold on. We're going to look up Cap Friendly right now. Drew Doughty. If it'll pop up for me. Yeah, the Raptors are just kicking ass. Yeah, like Drew Doughty's getting paid $11 million until the 2026-27 season. That's way too much money. That's way too much money. Steve James, what's up, man? From Kitchener, what's good? Pretty damn close to me. I don't think I'm going to be going live tomorrow. Yeah, Carlson got overpaid in San Jose, too. Nice finals, thanks. Appreciate it. King Kendrick. Yeah, I mean, it's good that Drew Doughty plays all year. Like, sure, that's great. But Drew Doughty also is one of the top leaders in giveaways in the entire NHL. He gives away the puck quite a bit. Brampton Hype, what up? Love that. All right. I've been on here for over an hour. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this stream. I'm going to try to relax a little bit because there's probably going to be a lot of stuff to do. I don't know if I'll be doing a stream tomorrow because that'd be a lot. We'll have to see, but I appreciate you guys stopping by. I always appreciate the support in terms of comments and stuff like that. Hopefully you guys will be checking in on the channel tomorrow. There might be a stream, there might not. I'm not going to promise anything. There probably is going to be some videos for sure. And I appreciate you guys. Matt, love from New Brunswick. Appreciate that as well. But yeah, thanks guys for stopping by. Really appreciate you guys. Even if we disagree on some stuff, it's just hockey talk. It's nothing personal. And yeah, enjoy your night. Enjoy the deadline. And yeah, I'll hopefully see you guys tomorrow on the channel. Peace.